Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the first video I'm making from Bulgaria, and it's on the topic how to get rid of narcissists in your life. And I haven't been talking about narcissists forever. I think I've touched upon it in one of the earlier videos, but I never really wanted to get into it because I am actually in a really great state of mind. I do not have narcissists in my life. I don't even have people that are too negative. If I have them, then I know it also has to do something with me, that I'm carrying that kind of energy within me, because I can tell the more I really work on myself and really take out of all of those negative emotions and blocks, then those people around me not only just move away, but actually I also have better relationships with people that do have narcissistic tendencies. So it's really interesting, and that's how I wanted to address this video, or really that's the theme I'm going to get into. If you are in a relationship with a narcissist and you can't really get out and you have real deep trouble, I recommend watching videos of Richard Grannon, Spartan Life Coach, I think. Yeah, that's how it's called on YouTube. That's what I watched a lot when I was going through my relationship with a narcissist 4 or 5 years ago, shortly before I started this channel. But now I can tell you definitely how to get out of it from the perspective where I am now. And I believe if you really want to get to a point where you're okay, I'm okay with this now, I've got rid of this person, but I don't want to attract any more narcissists in my life or people with narcissistic tendencies, then I hope this is going to help you. So mainly what happens is that we think we need to help that person. It's a person you'll definitely see, they're not actually asking for your help really verbally, right? You feel it from their energy. It's like they're craving your attention, they're craving your help, and you feel like you're the only one who can really sense that energy, and you're going to help them. And then you kind of completely overrule the fact that they do not talk nicely towards you, that they are mean, that they act in a degrading way or whatever it is, because all you feel is their energy, and you feel that they're suffering. But this is from a completely different standpoint, right? You're looking at them from a standpoint of, okay, if I'm more free and I don't have these tendencies that narcissists have. So you're looking at that perspective, and that narcissistic person in their more conscious state wouldn't have these things. So what you're doing is you're looking at that person from their conscious state, and you're saying, okay, you person, why are you doing this? You're hurting yourself, and I'm gonna talk to you on this level and hope that they will move up. But this is not going to happen, because you can't do that unless, a narcissist can't change unless they want to. If you look into a lot of, for example, Richard Grannon's work, it's narcissists can't be changed, and they can never understand where you're coming from, or really kill that ego part of them that's so dysfunctional. So I don't even have a real opinion on that, because I know I've been in situations like this where people have changed, but I don't have relationships with them anymore. So it really changed, so I cannot even tell if it really if they really changed, or I just don't know anymore because I'm not in their presence. But in the end, this is what we want to do. We want to get to a point where we don't attract any more narcissists into our lives. And I've had people in my life that had narcissistic tendencies, as I said, one of my best friends, my dad, who is here actually, and we have a loving relationship, and it's really wonderful. And so I know that things can change, and so it doesn't have to be the full spectrum for you to see that there's a way out of it, that you can have better relationships with that person, because this is what happens, right? You, especially if people like this have a pull towards you, you feel it's always you. It's not even that you are specifically doing something to be in their presence, they're always pulling towards you. Now, one of the reasons is because there's some kind of, may it be anger or some kind of other negative emotion that's within them that is also residing in you, and that you've been just covering up for all those years. Everybody would have told me years ago, oh, you're full of anger, you're just being passive aggressive, there's you have all of these built up emotions in you. I would have said, you're crazy. No, I'm not. I'm completely full of harmony. There's nothing going on that way. But I kind of always attracted people who had those tendencies. And For example, one of my good friends, she's not, you know, she moved away, and I don't see her that often, but I saw her shortly, like a couple of weeks ago, and then I saw how she was nagging at her boyfriend the same way she used to be nagging on me, and he let that happen. It was kind of way I can take it. I'm supposed to take it, and I can take it. I'm the only one like who can change that or fix that. And so you stay in that relationship with that person and constantly getting like beat on emotionally. So for me, when I saw that, the only thing I did was completely ignore it. Like I don't even tell her, why do you talk to him like this? I don't talk to him and say like, why do you let like this happen? But what I did is you know, as I said, I just pretended like I didn't realize it. And the funniest thing happened that right after that, she started to change. She realized, oh, okay, I cannot get like the emotional response I want from this, even from me. So even if she's doing this around me and people are reacting towards it, she recognized that I'm not reacting towards it anymore. And I used to. And so that meant for her, okay, I've reached like, a boundary that I cannot cross anymore, which I was able to cross at all times. And therefore she actually started to change, and like it became better. So even if you want to help people who just have like those tendencies of wanting like that attention on them all the time, of course it's a pain, like it's a pain body. That's how you call it sometimes. Of course there's pain involved in it. I believe people in general are good, and every time they get into situations where they start nagging or they start being critical or mean or anything in that direction, it has to do with some kind of pain they're dealing with, and it's not going to change unless that person really realizes, for them, I have to really like pick it up, and I have to do things that make me feel better. And you know, the short-term resolution to this would be to just like let go of all their anger towards a person who is covering up all that anger, right? So it's just like, that's what it is. Like you can read a lot of books on it and do research on it. Narcissists do tend to be, you know, get into codependency relationships with empaths, yeah, it's just like a perfect match if you're not conscious of what's going on. And so, as I said, like now I know when people are being aggressive towards me, it's because, especially like people with these narcissistic tendencies who want it their way or no way. It has a lot to do with a build-up energy that you carry on with yourself, and you have to release it. So that's why I definitely recommend, like, if you have that, start being aggressive towards the other person, and don't, like, please take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying being asshole, I'm not saying be mean, I'm just saying if somebody's being mean towards you, stop taking it and seeing it as an excuse for, well, you're stronger so you can take it. Don't do that. It will feel like you're being horrible to them when you respond and you set boundaries, but you're not being horrible at all. You're just doing self-care, but it will feel like you're completely mean. It will feel like this because it's a complete shift from what you have been doing all this time, right? So imagine, like, really get out of your emotional state. Be really rational for a minute. I know it's like hard and it doesn't feel like it's your intuition at that point, but it's really, really necessary that you really think, okay, if I saw two people, two friends of mine, and the one was acting like this towards the other, like, what would I tell the person who's like really the receiver of that information? That they should take it? That they're strong enough? No, you would protect them and feel like, why are you doing this to yourself? No matter how strong you are, nobody deserves to be disrespected, to be talked down to. And it does not matter if that person is doing that because they have emotional pain, because for them, it's not helping anyways. Like, you're enabling, every time you allow narcissists in your life like this, you're enabling their pain. So if you really want to help them, you have to realize, I'm not above it all. I'm not this like, so sensitive person who's just like beyond good or beyond strong. Like, I personally, back then when I was going through it all, I felt super dark inside. I felt like I'm bad, and that narcissist is like so good because they're so sensitive and they're so attuned to pain and to their soul being crushed with every time I say something that doesn't apply, or like that doesn't work with their worldview. So I thought of myself as being really dark and them being really light. And yeah, I realized, well, I'm not nothing special in that way. You know, I can't say like I'm different than anybody else. If I would protect my friend from being talked down to this way, then I have to protect myself. And it's not just a self-care kind of thing. If you don't have the strength to do it for you, realize that that person is not only going to do it to you, but they're also going to do it to somebody else. Always, it's not just you. And you have to like it has to stop with you. If you're strong enough to take their pain, then you're also strong enough to make them stop. Even if it means like really hurting them, this is how it feels for you. Maybe they have to realize what kind of pain they're causing in order for them to stop, not only hurting others but also hurting themselves. So like realize, as I said, that you have this pain body in you as well. You have this anger in you as well, and you need to let it out. So let that person know what they did. Let them let all that emotion that you feel back out. Start listening to music that kind of has like this this undertone of allowing you to let anger out. Because if you look like at frequencies of, you know, like going into like really joyful and enlightenment and love and above, like all those energies and frequencies that we're looking towards, it's like this. You have apathy, then you have, you know, like not doing anything. Like, I don't know exactly like those really, really low ones, but before it gets good, there's anger. And a lot of psychologists, when they have clients who feel anger, they're more optimistic about the future, because when you have anger, you're still feeling something. Most of us, when we're getting to a point where we attract narcissists, we're below that anger point. So we have to allow ourselves to really let that anger out, and let it out in a way of a response of, you just crossed my boundary, and you've been crossing it maybe for 2 years. Maybe it's my fault. Of course it's my fault in a way that I allowed you to do this for 2 years, and now it's gonna hurt you even more because you thought you can always do that and put all your energy like on top of me, and now I have to like make you aware that this is completely weak, that you're being completely you know, selfish, and that there's nothing good and like angel-like about a person who keeps on putting this pain on you just because you think they're sensitive and emotional and all of that stuff. So it's going to hurt you at that moment because you're so attuned to their feelings to let that anger out. But it's the only way I have found for me that works, to really make the person feel the pain that they have caused you. And, you know, like, I'm not saying go scratch their car. I'm not saying like do anything that they have done to you like this. All I'm saying is express the emotions you feel one way or another. It might be that you're like always been completely helpful to them, and then like, you know, we have those typical door slam situations. But also when, you know, when you do a door slam, it's still like I'm blocking off. It's not like expressing anger towards anybody. That's not something we do. But once we learn to do that, once we learn that it is a mechanism that has to be used in order to protect you, so you can be a better person, so you can help other people, so you can grow, and you start letting that out. I used to like really, in order to feel all that pain and all that anger, I used to listen to a lot of Eminem. I used to listen to a lot of rap. Like, that was for me the thing that got me out of it. And so once I allowed myself to really feel that, then all this anger came out, and under anger there's sadness. So the more you like really let this anger out, the more you will feel sad afterwards. But once you feel that sadness, you can like go through it, get better, really create like a new foundation that is safe, because you felt all that pain, you felt all that anger, you let it out, you gave it back. You're actually being a mirror. You're not, you know, this anger that you're expressing is not like an internal anger that has nothing to do with the other person. It's just that anger that you have been like pulling in from that other person in an energy kind of way, and now you're saying, I'm not taking it in anymore, I'm being a mirror. So, and you're really good at it. Like, INFJs are really good at taking this energy, like expressing exactly how they feel if they want to. They can make people feel something, like a specific person, very, very precisely, to express an emotion they want them to feel. So just let them feel what kind of emotions they have been evoking in you. That's all it is. So, and once you do that and you let all that anger out, you will see how people in your surrounding will not take you as a target, because you're not carrying this anger with you. Because when you're seeing that person from a, I numbed my pain down, I'm trying to be an unconscious and apathetic version of myself, you're not really like blessed, and like, you know, blessed is the wrong word, but you don't feel like you're in abundance, you don't feel like you're free, you still feel something is missing, and you feel you have to save that other person. So you're looking at them from the block of, I'm not feeling my emotions. The other person, on the other hand, feels like their anger, and they're feeling this anger in you, and somehow they feel that you're the recipient of this. And so once I allowed myself to really let that anger out, see what, like my friend, my dad, everybody that had like some kind of pain with them, and they had those narcissistic tendencies, they stopped doing that towards me. Like, I don't know if it really would have happened if I never, yeah, maybe, like, I want to say, I don't know if it would have happened like this if I never showed my dad boundaries. Because like for like 2 times I saw him, like, it was 3 years ago, I really was like, I did this anger thing, right? I was a mirror. So every time he evoked an emotion in me, and just by nagging him, I put this mirror up, and I made him feel this, like, I made him emotionally feel like, okay, I can't do that. So I don't know if that's like the reason why it stopped, but I think it isn't, because my friend that I was talking about, that had similar tendencies, and of course I had her in my life, she stopped doing that towards me as well. So I believe the more you free yourself of all this anger, the less people like this will come towards you and try to put this anger on top of you. And that doesn't mean you can't help them. You can help them, actually. The most you can help people anyways is being a great example, bringing light into the world, making sure that you take in energy like really as pure as possible, not filtered through other people, and then create something on your own terms, and being like a rock people can pull up on, and not really going into their world. So like, all in all, like, it's mind-blowing to me how like the people around me have changed. Not only the type of people, but actually the people that stayed in my life, how their relationship towards me has changed. And as I said, I have a wonderful relationship with my father now. I'm so happy. It's never been this good. And I know he has narcissistic tendencies, so I know there was stuff going on, and now it's like completely free, and we really vibe perfectly, and it's amazing. So yeah, these are my thoughts on how to get rid of narcissists in your life, or pretty much stop attracting narcissists. Be a mirror, let that anger out towards that person that tried to put that pain on you, and that you actually allowed them for the longest time to put that pain on you. Remove it, let all that anger out, you know, feel the sadness afterwards, and then like start building stuff on your own. And then you'll see how, yeah, like those people will just not be attracted to you in that kind of way that they would want to put that on you. Okay, so that's it on how to remove a narcissist from your life. I hope it helped you. Let me know what you think. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and always subscribe and hit the bell notification, so yeah, so you know when a video comes out. I talk to you next time, and I wish you a great week.